today. I don't know if y'all saw my Facebook post earlier today, but I kind of set the tone, for the topic for tonight. And the topic is I guess it could be controversial if you wanted it to be. The topic is biracial relationships. What do you think? Are you with it or are you not with it? So call in. There's a number on my story. There's a number connected to my Facebook. Call in and tell me what you think about biracial relationships. Oh, and I have a special guest with me today. I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with him, but this is Snoop. I don't have his stoop, but he's going to hang out with me in this nice big old chair and get a little toasted. So, thank you all for coming in here, and let's talk. Anybody got something to say? Hi, Samuel. Hold on 1 second. Okay, 253-534. What you got to say about biracial relationships?
I just came in. I didn't hear the first part of what you were saying.
Oh.
What did you ask me?
So, biracial relationships. I know it's a controversial topic. You know, the Senate just passed legalizing it, right? Protecting it. What do you think? Are you for biracial relationships or not? What's your thoughts?
Yeah. You should be able to love whoever you want.
I agree.
We're all human. Yeah, you should be able to love whoever you want.
Well, that sounds, it sounds right? But imagine this. There are places right now where it's still against the law. There are places right now where people are still being ostracized for it. So, I mean, we say love who you love, right? I'm a product of a biracial relationship. And we say love who you love, but you're still getting side eye when you're walking around with someone that doesn't look quite like you do. Yeah.
Well, just for being who you are, giving your natural effervescence, you get side eye. So
you are so right.
Who cares?
'Cause I get side eye every day. You are so right. Well, I appreciate you coming on and adding to this topic. There is just so much more that we could go on and on about it. But yeah, so thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate
it. Continue to listen.
Yes, ma'am. Next caller, 253-533. You're on.
That's me.
Oh, that's still you?
That's me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
731-819. I don't hear him. Okay, we must be having some type of technical difficulty, and that's okay. It is, after all, it's tech, so there's always going to be an issue. On the Facebook Live thread, though, I do see one of our followers says I'm biracial and have not had a problem. I could say that I've not had a problem, but I'd probably be lying. I mean, I have one or two here and there, but not a lot, not enough to write home about. Let's see here, 753-534. Are we still having technical issues? All right. Well, jump on in the thread if y'all have something you want to contribute. All right, let me just do a little shouting out while I'm on here waiting. We got Tasha. Hey, Tasha. Hey, Samuel. Hey, Michelle. Hi, Lyric, my beautiful daughter. How about 708-969? Welcome to I Said What I Said.
How you doing? That's A Spark on the line.
Hey, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I couldn't complain if I tried. So tell me about...
It's always good.
What's your thoughts on biracial relationships?
That's a great question and a very interesting one. I'm a product of a biracial relationship, and so obviously I support it because I wouldn't be here if it didn't happen. My parents went through quite a bit in the '60s when they got together. My white mother, her father was a proud racist and supporter of the KKK. My father, he was just, they worked together in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and they had to elope. And both were disowned by their families when their families found out that they were with people outside their race. And my pop had loved my mom for quite a while, actually, at work. And when they were working, that's when I found out. So I also have an older white brother from my mom's side, and he's just an amazing human being, one of the best people I know. But yeah, I was very fortunate and blessed. My parents never got officially married, but they dealt with so much back at that time in the '60s and '70s with so many racial slurs being hurled at them. We lived in Chicago at the time, and it was really tough for them. But I was really proud of them because they showed me the true meaning of love and the significance of staying together and family and what it means. And they were two of the most important people, obviously, and best people I've ever met. So I consider myself a black man, even though I'm biracial. I identify as black, and I'm not by choice, but I've leaned towards dating black women. I think black women are beautiful. I think all races are beautiful, but I just have a tendency to lean towards black women and biracial women, I guess. But it's not that I don't think I'm not attracted to other women, or I don't even think about it. That's just how it seems to be.
So I have a question with that.
Yeah.
With that right there. So you
Sure.
say you're more attracted to
Sure.
black women. Would you say so? And I know biracial. Some of us look like we have no black in us, right? And I'm speaking about the black and the white biracial children at this time. Some of us look like we don't have a drop of black in us, and some of us don't look like we don't have a drop of white in us, right? So when you are talking about that, is it because you identify more black? Is your skin a little darker, or are you more light? Is there something where you feel like a similarity, where it's a comfort level?
That's a great question, but I grew up in a white church, so I had a lot of white people around me. I was a swimmer. I played tennis. I was a swimmer in college and a tennis player in college. I was a ping pong champion in college. So I did a lot of things that were traditionally white. So I was in that environment. There were times I would go to a swim meet and I'd be the only black person there.
Okay.
So, but I grew up in a primarily black school. So I think it's not a matter of, did I sort of want to only date black women? I think black women are beautiful, but it was like that was the opportunity that I had. That was just kind of like mostly in my environment, primarily, when I was growing up. But yeah, like right now I'm talking to a girl, and she's you would consider her really dark skinned, but she's beautiful. So,
well, beauty comes in all shades. You can't exclude. You can't compare. Beauty. That's the thing I think that gets. And I don't know, and I think with us being both biracial, I think we can kind of speak about that a little bit. How sometimes they say, have you ever been told, you're so nice looking to be mixed or to be,
God,
half white or half black? I mean, I can count. I mean, it takes like 7 hands and 10 feet for me to count all the times I've been told that. But yeah, I totally get it. I grew up in a little small town in Tennessee, and I was the only biracial person in my school.
Wow.
Yeah, and there were only a handful of black people there, right? And then somehow I ended up gravitating more toward, and I was adopted. So where your parents stayed together, my mother had to give me away. And it was because of having a black child. So, when you are, and I grew up, all through the 70s, 80s, 90s, right? And so for me, it was more of an identity thing, right? And trying to figure out who was best, who was closest fit for me. And I think because I was raised by a black family, I just identified with a black man. You know, someone who could understand the struggle that I went through, and I could also understand his. So, yeah.
Yeah, I totally get that. I used to be, and I'm going to make this quick because there's a lot of callers on the line, but I used to be in a lot of Facebook groups, and I looked for it for biracial people. And I used to think that, you know, I've written a lot of poetry about it, And one of the things that I say is, soon to be born to my parents, baby A Spark, proving that even racism had an expiration date. But one thing that I've learned is, I don't know if you've done the investigation. I have done thorough investigation. There's 3 different factions when it comes to mixed people. There's that faction that thinks that if you got any black in you, you're black. There's that faction that thinks that you have to identify as mixed because you are mixed. And then there's another faction like myself that says you can identify any way you choose to identify. So, and they are extreme. They're extreme positions. They don't give in to each other. So I used to think that mixed people had more mixed people we had in the world, the less racism there would be. But that's completely false.
And you
because
know,
there's racism and there's.
And I want to, and you said something else that really, really makes me want to throw this in there. I know people who've had biracial children and still racist. And what I find, and I've encountered this personally just by meeting some of these people, I've seen Caucasian women have children by black men, but be racist. And I just, and there have been times where I've had to speak on that, right? Because, you know, if you are so adamant that black people, you know, like with George Floyd, you know, with that situation and with all the different things that are going on, I'm not even going to talk about the politics and all that stuff, but, you know, it's always well, if they would have just listened, right? Or just comply. And I'm like, you have a whole black son. So what if that happens to yours? Like, your son is black. You might be blonde hair and blue eyed, but society sees your son as a black child. So tell me how, you know, you find it acceptable to downgrade the race that your child shares. I mean, it's astonishing.
Right.
But you said you're a poet. Can you tell us, can you recite your poem?
You know, it's always rule number 5, and I normally have it pulled up. Give me like 2 seconds here, and I will dip in, and I will see if I can find Birth of A Spark. I've actually got a book coming out here shortly with the collection of my poetry.
All right, well, shout out
yes,
the book.
I just found Birth of A Spark. It's going to be called, the name of my book is called My Broken Chains, and it's going to be coming out shortly. I'm actually finishing up the dedication for it now, and hopefully hand everything over to the lady that's going to be producing it by tomorrow or Saturday. So I'm not sure the timelines from there, but we're very close. Okay. So this is a piece I called Birth of Baby A Spark. Born in the chaos, my soul split between black and white. In the middle of the night, my pregnant white mother took flight. No fight in him, her racist father could care less about her predicament. Abandoned his baby girl just to prove his deep-seated black hatred sentiment. In the 60s, when civil rights was making increments, when black men were the focus of false imprisonments, when Black Panthers became black militants and cocaine was the preferred stimulant, our moms remained innocent. Her only crime, she loved the black man magnificent. My black father gave in to the love he felt, grabbed his white woman and escaped to the valley of the snow belt. There, alone, disowned, they knelt, not sure of the life they had created and the one yet to be built. Said a prayer to the one true God against the odds that united, a part of them excited for the unknown. The other part scared on their own, surviving in a world that would never approve or condone the taboo love they had sown. A black man without a home, no place to hang his crown, no place to set his throne. Still, the love they had grown would sustain and guide them, come alive and revive them, supply and provide them a doorway to better times, even in a broken world full of danger. For soon to them on the verge would emerge baby A Spark, a game changer, the merging of two lost spirits, a fusion of twin flame soulmates. Baby A was now a living testimony that even racism had an expiration date. It wasted no time instructing baby A Spark and his older white brother the importance of judging a man by the content of his character and not by his skin color. But what they could not prepare me for was the internal war that raised as a reflection to the outside one that made the inside one cut deep. See, there were nights I could barely sleep, haunted by the taunts of my peers, counting black and white sheep. My soul lacerated, steeped from the constant revelation that being mixed was actually being weak. That being mixed was actually two broken halves and never one whole, complete pieces of my heart torn apart, my milk chocolate, skin a scarlet letter for a world that would never let me in. My white friends had their token, but I felt like a joke when I was accused of trying to be black. But oh, wait a minute, I'm just trying to fit in my skin. Figuring what line to get in, what box to check when I apply for an application, because checking other makes me feel like that, those, them. Oh no, here we go again. Third-rate citizen standing on the outside, always looking in the window, watching your skin show like a Broadway musical, exclusive invitation only to your skin show. I don't have a ticket though. Somebody get me a ticket to the skin show. I want to go. It's lonely out here. Please, can I have a ticket to your skin show? And that's that piece.
Wow. When I tell you that, like, it did something to me. That was awesome. How can we follow you on social media? Because I know you got some more fire.
Well, I'm in a group called the Arena Chicago Sports. You can follow me there. I am the one of the founders of the group. I do a lot of sports and broadcasting, so you can follow me there. You can follow me on Facebook under Aaron Janoski. That's my name. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, Aaron, I appreciate you. I resonate with you well, and thank you so much. I really appreciate you being a part of my show and sharing that beautiful piece of poetry with us. I'm sure you're going to have a lot more fans after this. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you. It's my pleasure.
All right. Have a good one. And my next caller, I don't have a number, but I know I got another caller. Guest number 18. You are on I Said What I Said. Tell me your name and where you're calling from. Okay. Can we go to the next caller? Seven 731-819. You are on I Said What I Said. Yes, no. 731-819. Maybe you guys have lost us. I don't know, but let's try 708-674. You are on with I Said What I Said.
What's going on? How are you?
I am great. What's your name?
It's Nina. I'm calling from Chicago.
Hey, Nina. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Cold. How you liking this wind out here?
Man, it's too cold for me. I'm ready to go to Florida somewhere.
I don't know if I'll go to Florida, but I'll go somewhere warm because this cold is not really working with my complexion. So tell me what you think. Are you calling in about our topic, biracial relationships? What's your thoughts?
So you said the topic is like what? I mean, like is it a specific point or something about
biracial relationships? Are you with it? Do you agree with them? Are you against them? And then why or why not?
I mean, it's really hard to say if I'm against it or not. I mean, just to be bluntly honest.
And that's what we want, raw and unfiltered. We're grown people on here.
It's funny because me and my cousin was just talking about this today. My cousin is half Spanish, half black, and we were just talking about this today. Because her baby dad, which is my cousin, has 10 kids, and half of the kids are biracial, a couple of them are, some of them not. But the two that are, his baby mom is white, great dad. He takes care of his kids. He makes sure they never have not of anything. They always have everything. And her parents just despise him. They don't call him by his name. They call him nigga. And it's bad. So that's what I've been running into a lot lately. Like a lot of people that I know that are biracial or have biracial kids, the parents of the white person or, you know, the Spanish person or whoever they're with doesn't like the baby dad or doesn't like the kids because of the dad being black. I have ran in that like for the past couple of months. And it's crazy because one thing I can say about the South, if they don't like you, they don't like you. They'll bluntly tell you that they don't like you. But up here, like up north, it's just like, it's like a, you know what I mean, like a silent diss. Like, you racial, you know you racist, but it's like they try to like
play the game.
Like camouflage it, like put a Band-Aid on it or something. Mm-hmm. If you don't like me, look, just be honest, okay? If I have never done nothing to you and you don't like me because of my skin color or you don't like my kids because my kids remind you of me because, you know, of their skin color or what or something like that, then tell me. That way my kids don't have to be around you. I don't have to be around you. You know what I mean? I don't care if my kids are your daughter's kids or not. They don't have to be around you. I just think that's really crazy, crazy. And me and my cousin was talking, and I was like, cuz, I said, it's kind of funny to me. I said, like, you know, back in the days, back in the 60s or whatever, when we had the white only and colored only and stuff like that, there's so many stories of white women like lying on black men saying they whistled at them or saying they did this to them, saying they did that to them, then what, they getting beat, lynched or something like that. I said, I don't know if I was a man, I don't know if I could be with a white lady or not. I don't think I can because I'm just like going back in history, and it ain't even history, it's happening now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everybody's talking about history back in the 60s, back in the days, this. It's still going on right now.
Question.
But the thing about it now is it's worse now because you don't know. It's like, at least back in the 60s, they had signs, okay, this your water fountain, this my water fountain, this or that. But now it's just like, It's like you just don't know. And it's sad that, you know, biracial couples are together. And so apparently they must love each other. So, but for the parents or the grandparents to still carry that racist torch or whatever is just crazy. And then, like I said, the babies are suffering for that. So, I mean, if you have biracial kids and your, you know, grandparents or the parents are cool, then kudos to you. Like my husband, I think he has literally the best of both worlds. He has a biological mom, then he has a foster mom. His foster mom is from Ukraine. So that's why the situation that's going on with Ukraine and Russia right now is dear to my heart. And they are the sweetest people. I'm talking about the sweetest people in the world that I've ever met. And just this Thanksgiving, I took a family picture, which I got to post my family picture. And I'm just looking at my family. I'm like, they're like my extended family, but they're like my family because they're part of him. And I'm like, damn, my family is number one big melting pot. Like, you know, we got, you know, his brother married a Spanish, like, so we got the you know, Puerto Ricans, the Mexicans, we got black, we got white, we got Russian, we got Ukraine, and we all like one big happy family, and everybody looks at each other from love, like, you know what I mean? And that just like, man, just like had me in awe in Thanksgiving, like, wow, I got a cool family, you know?
So let me interrupt you real quick. So is your husband, your significant other, is he biracial? Is he black? Is he Ukrainian?
No, he's black.
He's black, but he was raised by a Ukrainian family.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. And his mom used to say, like, when they be out, and he'd be like, Mom, Mom, Mom. And all the black people would look at her like, Mom. And she'd say, yeah, that's my baby. Yeah, he said, Mom.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. I thank you so much for sharing your story. A lot of what you said, it does resonate with me as well. Again, I'm biracial, and I was placed up for adoption when I was a baby because the family could not, accept, a black child is my understanding, right? And I was adopted into a black family. So, I would say it would be easy to say I identify with black more, but I don't. I've never denied either race. I've never excluded, one race or another for dating, but, it is what it is. But thank you so much. I so appreciate you coming on and sharing your story, and thank you very much.
You are so welcome. Congratulations on your new show. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Job well done. You're doing a damn good job. Job well done.
Thank you, and I hope you'll tune in next Thursday too. We don't know what juicy story we're gonna have going on, but it's gonna be good.
Yes, ma'am. I got you.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So, caller 773-818. You are on with I Said What I Said.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you? Who am I talking to?
I'm doing great. My name is L1.
L1.
A.K.A. DLJ.
DLJ.
Yeah, L1.
Okay, where you calling from?
I'm calling from Chicago.
Okay, you here in this cold weather too, huh?
Yeah, I'm used to it. I call myself a bear, so I'm not, used to all this. It don't bother me at all.
I'm sure some single ladies out there looking for a bear. Are you single?
Yeah, I'm single.
Well, hey, ladies, if you on here, you heard him. This is cuddle weather, so he's online. So join on, get on here now and throw your number in there. Shoot your shot in the DMs.
I just want to say that I love the show title. I said what I said.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I typically do.
I'm a legend of Chicago hip hop.
Yeah, I'm honored to have you on my little video show. Thank you for tuning in. So tell me about this biracial relationship stuff. What you know about it?
Well, the biracial thing, my whole family is a crayon box, and I mean that literally. My sister-in-law is Japanese, 100%, no cut, no nothing. My nieces are Japanese and African American. My cousin is married to a white man. My other cousin is married to a white woman. So I've been dealing with this for a long time.
How does it work in your family? Does it work well in your family? How about the older people in the family? How do they handle all of that cross culture?
Love.
That's beautiful stuff.
Ain't no phoniness about it. Everybody loves everybody. There's no you white, I don't like you. There's no you Japanese, I don't like you. Everybody loves everybody.
That's good stuff.
We're not into that. We never. And my family is from the South, the deep South of Alabama. So they from Carrollton, Alabama. Dirt roads and all that. Grew up, doing the Jim Crow and all that stuff. But we was never taught to hate somebody because of how they look, because it wasn't their choice,
Right.
You didn't choose to be, you didn't choose to be born biracial. You didn't say, God, make me biracial. That's just what happened.
Right.
So we never held that against nobody. So my cousin being married to a white woman, and my other cousin being married to a white man, my brother being married to a Japanese woman, it's never been a problem because you're going to love who you're going to love. And you judge people off their attitudes and how they act, instead of how they look, because they didn't choose to, look that way
So,
or come to this world that way.
so let me ask you a question.
I don't
Have you ever dated outside your race?
No, man.
Will you?
Never dated out my race. Probably so. I probably will, but I've never had a serious relationship. Have I ever talked to a white woman before? Yes. Have I ever slept with a white woman before? Yes. But have I ever had a serious relationship? No, I haven't. Okay. And I probably could, if she's nice and, and decent and all that, then I could. I wouldn't have a problem with dealing with a white person because you love who you love.
That's right. Love is love.
I fall in love with her, and that's who I fall in love with.
That's good stuff. As long as she treats you good, that's a keeper.
Yeah, bottom line. Because you can deal with your race, and they treat you like scum. So, what is that saying? I got to stay with my race, and they treat me bad? No.
Hey, you got to look for what works for you, right? That's what I tell everybody. Whatever works for you, that's what works for you. I'm not here to tell anybody who to love, how to love, or what to love. You have to do, again, what your heart tells you. I thank you so much for joining our call. I appreciate you. And now
I appreciate you.
I got to get to my next person here. Caller 773-668. You are on. I said what I said.
Hello, my name is Darlene. Can you hear me?
Hi, Darlene. How are you?
I'm blessed. I just came across this wonderful blessing to be a part of this, all this great energy. I hope I'm able to reach out to someone. So I am for biracial relationships. I'm for love, period. I'm for being a better human being out there, because we're human beings, right? But we act like human beings towards one another. And the topic of your show, and I said, well, I don't have a problem with people dating outside of their race. I say the more the merrier, like the gentleman was saying, a big crayon box. I'm all for it. Mm-hmm. I've never dated anyone that's Caucasian. Not that I'm, opposed to it or biased by it. I'm attracted to Asian men, black men. I happen to be a black Afro-Latina. So I was raised in New York. I'm from Brooklyn. And, it's a big melting pot and it's very diverse. So when I met my husband, my ex-husband, he's Mexican. Okay. So I just want to keep it real deep. We're Hispanic, but when his parents met me, they considered me completely black, and I have no problem with that. So I was just wondering, why is Lady giving me the side eye? Way before we got married, she just did not like me. She didn't approve of me. My hair's very curly. She considered me to be nasty and all kinds of other stuff and saying things behind my back. So she literally told my husband, when we were dating, I don't want that in my house. Oh, wow. And he came back and told me, and I was so crying. I was beside myself. I couldn't believe that someone would even, one, still use that word to this day, and two, for us as a people, to come so far, so long, and struggling, outside of slavery, and then to still experience racism. That was my first time, having someone be racist towards me. So your topic tonight is about, biracial relationships. Although I'm not Caucasian and my husband is not, of a different nationality, we are still Hispanic. But I was treated as if, he was the white person and I was a Caucasian and I was the black, African American. And that's how she looked at me, and that's how she treated him and raised him. Although they're Mexican, blonde hair, blue eyes, I was considered, a whole different category. So fast forward now, we, have 3 children, and 17 years later, she still refuses to accept my children as family because Never once did she change a diaper. Never once did she hold my children. Never once did she give them a bottle because she said she don't want those. And I'm Colombian and Puerto Rican. She said, never once do I want those and Puerto Ricans in my house. And it just broke my heart because 17 years later, 3 children and these grandchildren, you will never know how much love they can give to you and Phil. And to know that she doesn't know their birthdays, she doesn't know their middle names. She's never barely, been there for any of their birthdays. She forgets sometimes what their names are, and she still lives in the same zip code. So we were always treated as a biracial couple. And it's ignorance. It's just pure ignorance. And it breaks my heart to this day because the love you give is the love you receive. That's the love you give back, You give it and it returns. It's a full circle. And so I tell my children when they see her, if they see her, say hello, good afternoon and good night. Offer your grandparents a glass of water. Say hello. They shake my children's hand. They don't even hug them.
Wow.
So it hurts me.
I'm sending you a virtual hug because I feel the pain. I feel that pain in your voice. And, unfortunately, not everyone is going to get it, right? They're just not. And it's okay. For me, again, going back to my situation, just to give you a little bit of assuredness, I guess a little peace for your children. Just because this set doesn't want them or doesn't accept them does not define who they are. And so sounds like you're doing the right thing, just giving them as much love as possible. And just keep doing that. And as long as they know who they are and they're comfortable in their skin and you raise them in love, they'll be okay. And never show them that situation bothers you, right? Like, it's okay to let them know, this is what it is, right? I think sometimes we tend to pacify and then we kind of fluff and fold over stuff so that our children aren't aware of what's going on. And then they don't know how to deal with stuff when they get older, right? So we have to start being honest with our children and just letting them know up front, like, this is what it is, right? But that has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. And you are raised in love. And as long as you're raised in love, then they'll know how to give love. They'll know how to receive it. And explain, that's not love. That's not what it looks like. I mean, that's the best. Huh?
And I appreciate, I feel like I'm talking to just you directly, but I'm sure there's a lot of people listening. Let me ask you, should people, when you see this situation firsthand, and like I saw it firsthand, this lady is not like me, this is an issue, she's being racist towards me, she could call me ugly, nasty, all kinds of stuff, and behind my back, but in front of me, she would never disrespect me. Of course, because I would deal with it accordingly, rightfully so, and still give her respect as the mother-in-law. What do you suggest when people see this and they're faced with, these comments and being categorized and being racist towards? Do you advise people, go ahead, keep going with the relationship, or stop right there, red flag, wait a minute, because what hurts me still to this day, like when we had COVID a couple of months ago, no one brought us food. I have no family here in Chicago. My kids were sick. Like, no one came around, to help us. And, now my husband and I are divorced. And it's like, now we're just cut off. All of us are cut off, And it's like, I feel like I made the mistake because I knew better than to, like you say, you marry the husband or wife and you marry into that family. So it's like I made a decision to marry into this family, and I knew that I was going to be shunned upon. I knew I was going to be the outcast. I knew I was going to be the ugly duckling, in her eyes. And I feel like my kids are paying the price for going forward with the relationship and the marriage, because now it's like they get less love.
Well, no, they're not getting less love. They're getting the right love from the right person. So I don't think they're getting less love. If someone is toxic, do you really want your children around them? I mean, one thing about it, God makes no mistakes, right? And so there may be a very, very, very good reason in his eyes why your children are not around them. So I wouldn't put much emphasis in that, honestly. You let your children know, you know what, this is your family. And one day, you continue to love them and you continue to be mannerable and respectful of them and understand that is your family, right? Their blood. But, I mean, for me and what I see, I'm very opinionated. I'm very, very matter of fact. And I just state what I have to say. I think sometimes people get intimidated when you are, I don't want to call it aggressive, but I am assertive. And I've gone through my entire life dealing with being biracial, right? And so I'm going to speak on what I need to speak on, how I need to speak on it, because all my years growing up, everybody else had something to say. So now it's my turn to have something to say. So I say, you know what? You feed energy into the right things, which would be your babies, and just ignore any of the other stuff going on, really. I mean, it's your choice, but you're only going to get back what you put in. And so if you feed into that negative, you're going to get negative back, and it's going to bother you. And when you have confidence, it scares people, right?
It does.
So teach your babies to just be confident in who they are.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. I appreciate you. Do me a favor. I don't know if you see my live, but my name is Crystal Allen. And go in my DMs, please, and send me, and request me as a friend. I want to keep up with you.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. You have a good one, okay? We'll speak soon.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. You too. We have caller 630-689. I said what I said. Get on in here.
Hello.
Hi. And who am I speaking with?
This is. I am your secret guest. All right. First off, I want to say, I'm not going to say my name yet. I want to just give you some accolades, and I want to tell you how proud of you I am. I think that the world has been missing out on you and all that you have to offer. So let's get this thing going. My name is April Patterson, and I am your friend. We rock together, and so I am definitely here to support you in this conversation. Born and raised in Los Angeles, I currently live in Chicago. So this conversation is interesting for me because Los Angeles is a melting pot. Segregation, not that it's not there, but we don't really see it. Everyone is a transplant there for the most part. And so interracial dating is just what we do, and we do it extremely well. So when I moved to Chicago, and I didn't know how segregated Chicago was until I actually moved here. And so the woes that, and this is just my opinion, that is, some of the Midwesterns may experience here, I've not ever experienced that. Biracial dating, really and truly, I think for me and for my family, for my friends just growing up, it was a thing. Like, it wasn't a really big deal, and it was well accepted. And so not until I moved here did I really notice that, oh, wait, there's a problem in the air with it, right? So I think for me, if I'm in a relationship and I'm in a relationship with a black man, but I've always been open to dating another race. It just never worked out for me in that way. So, I know that there are a lot of challenges that can come along with that. It's really sad when individuals are shunned upon because they have chosen love, and love may look different for them. And so, it's our society just doesn't really do well with interracial dating. And you would think by now, it's been a thing for a very, very long time. So it's true.
It's funny because, you are so correct. Coming from Tennessee, and again, I was, growing up, I was it. Now, there was a guy in a town next to us that was also biracial. But in my school, it was me. And it was crazy. You get the little names, zebra, half-breed. And me being the Virgo that I am, I'm very analytical, right? So the half-breed thing, I'm like, a half-breed? What is that? Like, I'm a whole person. So what's a half-breed? Whatever. And I was the quirky kid. So I kind of fed into a whole lot of, I just did things because where, you had this group that would kind of push you off, and then you had this group that would kind of push you off. You think you this because your hair is, and all of the other stuff. And I was just a kid. I just wanted to play. And just so you guys out there listening know, April actually shared in the journey with me to meet my birth family on my birth mother's side. And it was
that was a deep moment, very deep.
Very deep. And then hearing, getting back to these biracial relationships, hearing my birth mother, tell me, that she had to give me away because, of who I was and where I came from and what I looked like. That was hard. And then even more so, I think the hardest part of all of that was hearing her say how for all of the time that, I'm 50 years old. So having her tell me, how hard it was for her at holidays, like Christmas. She said she wouldn't stay at the Christmas parties with her sister or brother or with her, the rest of her family because they got to keep their kids. They were opening their gifts. And so she would figure out a way to gracefully leave, and
right. And it's interesting to listen to, how that was her experience. But when as I met and came, when I came to know your mom, the hurt that she carried her entire life because she could not have you was just so sad. And I think that hopefully the conversation that we're having tonight will open, the eyes of many across, the world, whoever comes across this broadcast, because one of the things I think people don't realize, and a lot of it is ignorance. I know, for instance, I can give growing up as a child, right? While I didn't experience it, my stepdad, I just remember him saying, when I was in high school, don't bring nothing. If it's not a black boy, don't bring him home. Well, first off, I couldn't bring home anybody because it was just a strict household. But anytime it was a dating situation he always drilled that, into me. And I think that as parents, the foundation that we lay for our children, we have to be very careful about the things that you say and the upbringing, right? Because kids, they come here, not, against kind of their own will. We don't ask to be here when we're born into this world. And so it is a parent's responsibility that's like the first love, right? That's everything. You're so impressionable. I remember my stepdad saying those things to me. And then I also remember my ex-husband, he would say to our daughters, because, born and raised in Compton, which was kind of weird for me because, Compton is black and Mexican. That's the population, right? So for him to say to our daughters, don't date outside of your race, and you want to know something funny, they all did date outside of their race. So you have to be careful with the seed that you plant. I just taught them, hey, love who you love. And so I think there's something to be said, but back to your mom, when I met her and the hurt that she felt, not being able to have you in her life, that was super impactful. And to watch you grow in this moment has just been really an awesome journey. And I just want to say this is a super awesome topic.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I think, we're talking about biracial relationships, right? And and at the end of the day, it usually results, a lot of times it results in this product, right? And if you're going to engage in a relationship with someone of another background, another race, another culture, you know, you could both be black, but then one could be of another culture, right? I think all of that plays, right? If you're going to do that, number one, before you enter into anything like that, you better be very assured in who you are, secure in who you are, confident in who you are. Right. Know yourself, because otherwise you can get lost into that other person or their world, right?
Right.
And two, you know, if you're not really comfortable with who you are, then you're almost certainly going to come across a big issue. Just a big when you go outside your race.
Exactly. I know, like, for currently, one of my daughters is in a relationship, 2-year relationship with a white guy, and he's my boy. Like, you know, but again, I didn't have that, you know, you're white, I can't, you know, all that, right? So that's my boy. Number one, the reason why I love him the way that I do is because he loves my daughter correctly, right? So it's really, to me, it's like, how are you treating it? You can be in an interracial or a biracial relationship, or you can be a biracial offspring. I think that, to your point, one thing I do think that if you have a biracial child, you absolutely must expose that child to both sides of their culture.
Oh my God!
Do not do that child any sort of justice by gravitating towards one culture more than the other. It creates a very unbalanced individual, and there is going to be an identity crisis waiting to happen.
Yes. Oh my God. Thank you so much, April. You know, you and I, April and I, we have these conversations all the time. And we'll be here all night.
Right.
Y'all, we won't let nobody in.
Yeah,
we'll be
so
sitting talking.
I'm going to relinquish the...
So I'm gonna thank you, April, so much. But right now, I need to bring on the CEO of the P.O.E.T Radio, Mr. BLAQ himself.
All right.
So everybody, if y'all can, let's take a pause for station identification. You're tuned in to I Said What I Said, and it is hosted by your girl Crystal. So you know, BLAQ, I don't know how much you know about him, but you better get to know about him, because he's a 4-time national award-winning poet, and his radio station hosts me. So what can I say? So BLAQ.
Peace and blessings to not only you, and congratulations to you. I thought tonight's show was wonderful and very powerful. And I think that when we were talking about this topic for tonight, I'm pretty sure you, just like myself, had no idea as to how emotional and powerful some of the callers would be that called in. But this is a taboo topic, you know, in our community that we really don't talk about. And this goes back all the way back to that light skin, dark skin thing that used to be, you know, a real situation in our community. And sometimes even today it still is a situation in our community. But, you know, to all the callers that called in tonight, man, we want to say thank you. This is our kickoff, our launch. I think, Crystal, you did an excellent job. I even saw you get a little bit emotional over there. I'm watching you live on Facebook. He even put you on a 75-inch screen, you know. So, man, I just want to say keep doing what you're doing. And I'm looking forward to next Thursday when we bring another powerful topic. I said what I said. This is a no-holds-barred platform, y'all. So say what you want to say it how you want to say it. And Crystal she can handle y'all. Don't get it twisted.
Don't let this light skin fool you. Please don't let this light skin fool you.
So I would go ahead and turn it back over to you so you can go ahead and close out.
All right. So again, I just want to say thank you myself. You know, it means a lot for the people that tuned in, that you thought enough of me to spend some time with me. when you could have been doing so much more. So thank you. And next Thursday, I promise you, next Thursday's topic is going to be extremely hot. Probably hotter than my little Snoop's thing here. We're not going to say what it is, but you get the idea, right? So I got to go hide Snoop. So I'm going to get off of here because Mini-Me will be on the hunt for this by in the morning. So we got to hide him really good. I'll probably put him in a tree, but don't y'all tell her, okay? Other than that, just know that love is love and it has no color, right? And anytime I say anything, just know this. I said what I said. Y'all have a great one, and thank you for tuning in. Bye.